doubles and coffee. So now we know that the PNM lie after lie on the closing down of the Petrotrain refinery. Now we know that it wasn't closed down because workers were getting exorbitant salaries and tea lady were making 30,000 and so on. Now we know that it wasn't closed down because it was losing US dollars. We now know that it wasn't closed down because it wasn't making a profit, because it was making an operating profit. Now we know that Petrotrain refinery was not closed down because the board of Petrotrain told ROWLEY and his cabinet to close it down, because Winfred F. Espinay said under oath that he did no such thing. So now we know that the Petrotrain refinery was not closed down because the Lashley report, the Solomon report, the McKinsey report that was paid for by taxpayers to the tune of $64 million, that none of those reports said to shut down the refinery. And now we know that the final lie told by Smallpin on Hansard and every time he could get, even in an op-ed in the Guardian of PNM's K-Pax, that the refinery was such a burden that we were importing so much crude and losing money after refining products and turning crude oil into end products, that we were losing US and it was a burden on the treasury and we were losing foreign exchange. Now that Coleman but has said that is true, that the Petrotrain refinery was a net earner of the US, just like the UNC was saying all the time, like Kevin Rabnarain was saying all the time, like David Lee was saying all the time, like Wade Mark was saying all the time, like Kamala was saying all the time. Then we have to ask, why was the refinery shut down? Who benefited? Well, not the 5,364 permanent workers that lost jobs. They didn't benefit. Not the 6,000 temporary contract workers who were employed by the Petrotrain refinery. They didn't benefit. Not the fence line communities. They didn't benefit. Not the foreign reserves for Trinidad and Tobago, the US. Our country did not benefit because Petrotrain was a net earner of foreign exchange. So we lost foreign exchange. So exactly who benefited? The spin-off effects, the fence line communities didn't benefit. Nail tech, restaurant, bar, hairdresser, all around the Southwest Peninsula, the ghost town that it is. The contract workers who were paid to take care of Petrotrain houses and land and real estate, they didn't benefit. Who benefited from the shutdown of the Petrotrain refinery? Well, there was a friend of Keith Christopher Rowley. Keith Christopher Rowley said in a press conference, that's my friend. And if I hear any accusation about my friend, what sort of friend would I be? Of course I called my friend. But this friend, a bareback man that you could see all over social media, cussing every 2 seconds, using racist, racial epithets at every juncture. This fellow whose daughter was in the PNM Senate, appointed to the Senate by Rowley, this friend of Rowley, there were accusations by a PNM board about ghost oil, about increases in production, productivity of oil. This friend somehow benefited from the shutdown of Petrotrain. How? Well, Tioki Singh disappeared when the fake oil allegations were made. And with the shutdown of Petrotrain, the case, police couldn't continue any case. They couldn't get witness statement from the guard, the sentries on duty. They couldn't get the logbook. They couldn't interview and get a statement from the pump man who turned on the pump. They could not get information from the managers about what is the maximum output of oil pumped into Petrotrain from anywhere. They couldn't get a forensic engineer, chemical engineer, and forensic auditors to do an audit on the oil and oil production across Petrotrain. The police investigation stalled. So anybody who could have been under investigation would have benefited. Who else benefited? Well, Rowley, by shutting down Petrotrain, got to put his own people, his own personal lawyer, in charge of heritage Petroleum and Guaracara and ROWLEY got his own people in charge of Paria, and the PNM took total control without the due process of HR that existed before. To get a work at Petrotrin, you had to go through process, procedure, advertisement, interview, ranking, and so on. And somehow, ROWLEY and all fire, the security, the guards who were protecting the assets of Petrotrin to give another friend of the PNM a contract. But more importantly, there were no guards left there who knew, who had information, and the police could take statements from. So ROWLEY's friend then benefited because there was the investigation thwarted, then it went to arbitration, and ROWLEY in charge of the arbitration with ROWLEY's personal lawyer Kwamina in charge of making decisions on what to do with the arbitration, how to go, what evidence to present, choose lawyers to represent the government against ROWLEY's friend. And then when the arbitration collapsed, the senior counsel say, listen, appeal this arbitration. The people's assets, the people's money, the people need redress and justice. And ROWLEY's personal lawyer took his time, did not take the advice of the senior counsel to appeal the arbitration, took advice from junior internal counsel, and then you know what happened? You, the taxpayers, didn't benefit. You had to dip in your pocket, taxpayers, for $118 million to pay ROWLEY bareback friend. He benefit $118 million. But it didn't stop there. What other benefits came from the shutdown of Petrotrin? Due to the lack of appeal or non-appeal of the arbitration decision also, ROWLEY, the Prime Minister, and his #1 Minister of Energy, who, the gentleman who bareback always saying, he loved them like hog love mud. He want to make Stuart Smallpin young. He wife, if he didn't have a wife, he loved ROWLEY, he loved PNM. He got your assets again, his company. Not only were they exonerated and paid $118 million because ROWLEY's personal lawyer refused to appeal, they was then awarded also new acreage valued at $950 million. So over $1 billion of benefit to ROWLEY's friend. Let's see. So the country suffer, the people suffer, businesses suffer, Christmas coming and businesses will shut down, no US, individual people of Trinidad and Tobago, the credit card suffer, US foreign exchange under pressure, black market for foreign exchange, no jobs, OWTU and the union shattered, the refinery shut down, they're still trying to open it back. The country decimated, the economy decimated, but only one man friend benefit. The Prime Minister friend benefit from the shutdown of Petrotrin. So I ask you people, what ROWLEY shut down Petrotrin for? When he said the government is not shutting down Petrotrin. And if you didn't hear me and you were opening your fridge, I repeat, the government of Trinidad and Tobago is not shutting down Petrotrin. And then ROWLEY proceeded to shut down Petrotrin of his own volition, his own decision by himself. ROWLEY did that. And the country did not benefit. The workers did not benefit. The union did not benefit. The treasury did not benefit. The central bank did not benefit. The car owners did not benefit. But ROWLEY friend benefit. So I ask you, why was Petrotrin shut down?